At Crestron, we are committed to cybersecurity. Protecting Crestron products and services is of critical importance. A key focus is to incorporate safeguards to offset possible threats and controls to ensure confidentiality, availability, and integrity. This video will provide a high-level view of some of our cybersecurity practices. Since cybersecurity is continuously changing, we are continually monitoring, updating, and improving our practices. Security is a moving target. Maintaining up-to-date security protocols requires continuous vigilance as threat actors and mechanisms adapt and change on an ongoing basis. A cybersecurity strategy built using a reputable framework provides a strong foundation for protecting against new and evolving threats in an ever-changing landscape. Crestron's organizational cybersecurity program aligns with the best practices included in the National Institute of Standards and Technology (NIST), Cybersecurity Framework (CSF), and Center for Internet Security (CIS) Top 20 controls. Crestron has also incorporated key practices and requirements from Common Criteria Open Web Application Security Project (OWASP) and United States Department of Defense Security Technical Implementation Guides into our software development practices, providing a consistent approach to security between one product to another. And of course, at Crestron, we listen to our customers. We look to align our best practices with yours. Security starts at the organizational layer. Security starts with a strong focus on organizational cybersecurity practices. As part of our organizational cybersecurity program, Crestron has developed a complete policy set to define our security practices and ensure consistent practices surrounding our infrastructure and product security. These policies set the ground rules under which Crestron operates, providing safeguards for its data and systems and to reduce risk and minimize the effect of potential incidents. At Crestron, we have developed a risk management program to identify and address risks that could impact our data and systems' confidentiality, integrity, or availability. Just as enterprises look to Crestron to provide information for due diligence about our practices, we have the same requirements for our component suppliers and manufacturing partners. What makes a secure product? Extensive planning goes into creating a secure product. When we first consider a product, we need to examine the data and services it provides. Looking at each piece of data, we need to consider how it needs to be protected. What or who is permitted to create the data? What or who is permitted to modify the data? What or who is permitted to read the data? Does the data need to be protected at rest, in transit? When we secure data at rest, we must verify the source of the data, ensuring the data has not been modified and that it can only be read by those who are authorized. We use encryption to ensure data can only be read by those who are authorized. Authentication verifies the source of the data and that it is not changed. To secure data in transit, we need to ensure the data cannot be read or modified in transit, and we need to verify both the sender and receiver of the data. Again, we use encryption to ensure it cannot be read, and authentication to verify the sender and receiver and that it has not been changed. To accomplish this often requires a balance between security, usability, and functionality. For example, requiring a user to type in a complex password in between each operation would be more secure, but of course result in an unusable product. Understanding the environment our products are used in and the people who use them helps us to create great products that balance all of these needs. Like any other modern software company, Crestron uses and contributes to open source software (OSS). Crestron instituted an OSS policy years ago and keeps a catalog of approved packages. We keep track of these packages and actively look to replace any older, vulnerable versions. Development, testing, and deployment are three separate groups at Crestron. What goes into a product is a controlled process. Just as software libraries and hardware components are managed by our processes, the features of an application go through approval processes. There are mandated security checkpoints built into the process during the design approval phase. As part of the design process, we examine the threats our products face and determine how to counteract them. All source code is peer-reviewed. Most of Crestron products are developed utilizing continuous integration (CI) tools. When an engineer completes their changes, they are immediately incorporated into the mainline build. Static code analysis and penetration testing tools run nightly. We have tools to automatically identify third-party libraries and cross-reference them to known vulnerabilities. Crestron has a team of cybersecurity experts to test our products. This talented group uses a combination of automated tools and hand-coded attacks to make sure any security flaws do not make it into the field. And of course, Crestron recognizes the need for external verification. External cybersecurity test resources are brought in as needed to independently validate results. The life cycle of a product does not end at release. New vulnerabilities can be discovered as cybersecurity attacks mature. Crestron makes use of the industry-standard Common Vulnerability Scoring System, CVSS, to objectively measure the severity of discovered issues and schedule fixes based on those severities. In addition, security advisories are published on Crestron's security site.